This week on John Thelen's Destination Fish, we set up the portable looking for a pre-front bite as a small weather change bringing a couple of inches of snow moves in. John Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Lindy Fishing Tackle and L&M Fleet Supply. Man, I'll tell you what, today has the potential to be a really fun day. There's a front coming in, the snow's just starting. It's supposed to snow throughout the day. We're not gonna get a lot, we're gonna get a couple inches. But what it is gonna do is change everything. It's warmed up a little bit. You can feel this front coming through, and here's the deal. We're coming out of one of those deep freezes where you get a front like this and it can really turn bites on. And what we're gonna do today is hopefully catch a whole pile of fish. I got a pretty good feeling about it. We're set up in the dark, we're set up early. And I'll tell you what, the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk a little bit about baits and when to use different baits and what makes a certain bait effective on a certain day. I got a pretty good feeling about how today's gonna go. There's just a lot of things lined up in our favor. Ooh, there he goes, he's got that bobber on him. Holy smokes, I saw that fish come in and I thought he was gonna hit my jig stick and he didn't. He hit that float rod. We're gonna have to readjust this bobber stop once this is done. Feels like a pretty decent fish. You know, it just goes to show you how important that dead stick is. Oh yeah, good walleye. Come here, buddy. Look at that awesome fish. But it just goes to show you how important that dead stick is, because you know what? This fish, he swam right past my rattling flyer spoon and hit that tungsten toad, and I mean, he just ate the whole thing. He just, you know, it's funny how sometimes that'll work. You think that they're always gonna be aggressive in this shallower water in the morning and hit your aggressive presentation, but you know what? If you don't have this presentation with you too, there's a good chance you're not going to get that fish right there. He might just swim by and say, well, I'm not going to eat anything there, I'm not interested. And then the next one that comes through hits that rattling flyer spoon or hits that quiver spoon or rattling quiver spoon or whatever it is you're jigging aggressively. But man, that's an awesome fish right there. Let's talk a little bit about location just because of today's weather. It is late January right now. And with today's weather, I decided that we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fish some shallower water. I feel pretty confident about the spot I'm on. I'm on some scattered rubble here. But what I believe is because of the scenario we're in today, with the weather being what it is, and it's gonna be overcast and kind of sleeting and snowing all day long, I think we're gonna be able to get fish here all day. So I'm gonna sit tight here. You know, I've always been of the opinion that I would rather catch 10 or 15 fish in a day and have them be good ones versus catching 50 fish and trying to sort through smaller fish to get to keepers. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of times when you're fishing deeper, you're sorting through a lot of smaller fish. And if I can just be fishing for what I think are going to be the better fish, that tends to be what I'd rather be doing. There's one coming up. I think he's going to take my dead stick. Yep, he did it. Let's get this right out of the way. Let's get this fish hooked up, huh? That looks like yeah. That looks and feels like a good fish. One of the things I do sometimes, and this is just a great example of why, when I'm fishing in my portable and I'm this close, hole to hole, another good eye, look at that one, look at that, and I'm this close, hole to hole, we got lamprey that came up on that, look at that, man, that's cool. Let's get that off of them. There we go, get out of here, get that thing out of here, look at that, that's a great eye. But one of the things I do, and it a lot of times will really help you, just to avoid that tangle, when I saw this float, I saw this fish actually angling at the float, I started reeling my jig stick up a little bit, got it out of the way as soon as I knew he was going to hit it, because I'll tell you what, I just didn't want to get tangled up. And a lot of times in these fish, when I'm fishing in the portable like this, and we're fishing this close, hole to hole, is just easier to get that one out of the way, unless you see a school of fish coming in and you gotta leave it to try to catch another one. That's another great walleye right there. John Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Ooh, that feels like a decent fish. Yeah, that's good fish. Just trying to get that dead stick rebaited, and this fish, oh yeah, good fish. Look at that one. Look at that. Another awesome fish, man. I'll tell you what. Boy, I got lucky too. The line got through his mouth there. I want to show you what I'm using. I want to explain to you why. Number one, I don't know that there is, there he goes. You know, I don't know that there is a better spoon out there for ice fishing over the years than this Rattling Flyer spoon. And it is ideal for a lot of conditions, but you know my favorite condition to fish it in is those conditions where I think the fish are gonna be really aggressive, because this has got a big heavy rattle in it. It fishes heavy, it fishes very vertical. You can swim it outside of the hole a little bit, but when it comes down to it, this lure is just phenomenal, especially during those times when fish are on the feed. Now this is one that I use when they're a little less aggressive. This is actually the Rattling quiver spoon, okay? This bait here, it's a much more subtle bait. It's a slower moving bait. It'll flutter down as it drops. So ultimately, you can see I got them both tied up. And there's a reason they're both tied up, because there's a good chance that a fish will come in. If I don't get him to bite right away on a Rattling Flyer spoon, I might switch real quick over to that Rattling quiver spoon and vice versa, back and forth. And I always want to have that second presentation ready to go. Then on the jig stick side, like I say, I just reeled this in to get it rebaited. Simple fill float, that's a gold medal float. The line stays below the water so it doesn't ice up. And then a number 6 tungsten toad. If you're using a plain hook, what happens is that minnow can right himself really easily, okay? He wants to sit righted just like this. And once he does that, he won't struggle nearly as much for you. By using this tungsten toad, I'm making it so that he's got a little bit of tip to him down there, because that jig has a natural hang to the side, okay? So now that minnow is gonna sit and struggle. And if you can make that minnow sit and struggle, he's working for you. He's calling in fish. It's midwinter with a slight storm front moving in. We're set up in 16 to 18 feet of water along a transition line with scattered rock dropping off into deeper soft bottom. We're using 1/8 ounce Lindy Rattling Flyer spoons along with Rattling quiver spoons, both in pink glow colors. The dead stick is equally effective, with a number 6 tungsten toad suspending a live fathead minnow below a fill float. The overcast skies combined with the front moving in are creating the perfect conditions for a day-long bite. Hey, in between fish here, I want to tell you a little bit about this Cold Snap CS1 suit that you see me wearing. I've worn it now for 2 years. I've had the same suit, and this serves as my rain gear in the summertime too. You just unzip the liners. So I mean, I'm wearing this suit a lot, and it is durable. And I'll tell you what, I've never had a suit that is this tough, this bone dry, this warm, and breathes as well as it does. It serves me from beginning of the year on the ice all the way through the summer. Check it out at coldsnapoutdoors.com when you're looking at a new ice suit / rain gear, because this one's the real deal. Right on it. Come on. There he is, got him. All it took with that fish was just jiggling it above his head. As long as I just jiggled it for a second, he was willing. But I'll tell you what, all it took was just getting up higher. Sometimes just getting up higher, you know, you got to figure out their ceiling each day. But I just got up a little bit higher, jiggled it above his head, and up he came. Man, what an awesome morning of fishing. I got to tell you, this has been phenomenal. But this is a great example of, man, don't be afraid to fish a little bit shallower when you're dealing with low ceilings, okay? That's number one. Number two, don't be afraid to stay in that shallow water a little bit longer. But if I would have given up on this bite a little bit earlier, I don't know if I would have found another bite, because these fish, they're here. I mean, they're still firing. They're firing one after another. Ultimately, a lot of times it's just about trust that it's going to happen. And sooner or later, it does, especially on days like today. Hey, we're gonna pack it in for the day, but I'll tell you what, before we go, I wanna tell you about a couple products that I rely on day in and day out to get my gear out on the ice and have it be in the condition that I expect it to be in. Number one is this Nomad UTV topper. Comes in a couple different versions. You can get it in this low profile, or you can get it in a full box. But what's great about it is it's all aluminum. It's got locking latches, rubber gaskets. It keeps everything dry. Ultimately, it keeps all my gear in better shape. And then the other one's up on the front. And this one's the Jaws of Ice auger carrier. This one's awesome because I'll tell you what, day in and day out, it gets my auger where I want to get. It's great for side-by-sides, it's great for four-wheelers, and it's great for snowmobiles. Check this one out at jawsofice.net. John Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by these great sponsors.